Greetings, YouTube. I'd like to talk about AI, or what is being called artificial intelligence in the current social media sphere, because it really isn't artificial intelligence. There's no intelligence there. It is machine learning with powerful algorithms, but that's different than artificial intelligence with a mind that could be viewed as fully sentient, let alone fully sapient. And there's a difference between sentient and sapient. Sentient is aware, sapient is self-aware. And I can imagine before I die, we will see sentient software, software that is aware of the world around it and does what you tell it to do. And it does it effectively, and it adapts to the environment, and it's able to handle variables. I believe I'll see that before I die. I'm 59 at the moment. I figure I got maybe 30 more years if I'm lucky. So I think I'll see it before I go. But we are not going to see true sapient intelligence, I don't think, in the next 30 years. I think I'd be really shocked if we saw it before the second half of this century, but maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe some genius will pop out of the woodwork and come up with some means of achieving it. And then we'll have a much, much more complex issue to deal with. But at the moment, what is being called AI, in my opinion, is currently unethical. Because for what they're doing with it isn't an act of creativity, even though people see it producing art and writing. It isn't. It is taking the art and writing of other people, of human minds, and it is aggregating it together, it is categorizing it, it is mixing and mashing, it is adapting that to maybe a new media. Can do things that when you ask it to do, like, give me a picture of Superman wearing a tutu, and it gives you a picture of Superman in a tutu. But it didn't come up with the concept of tutu nor Superman. It went out into the world, specifically the internet. It found images of Superman and images of tutus and how tutus are worn, and gives you replies, with a picture of Superman doing a plie while wearing a tutu. That's cool and all. It could even be funny. But it's not originality. And one of the problems they're having right now is that AI has been active long enough that now the software is beginning to mine other AI software. So it's already gone through the original works that are out there and giving you a first generation of images and writing and things. So now this software is beginning to aggregate and categorize the material that other AI programs had produced, or maybe even the own program has the early editions of what that AI did. And you can't get anything close to creativity out of that now. I saw a little blurb recently that when AI was first released, it was 98% accurate when it came to mathematical problems. But now it's 2% accurate. Why? Because there's a feedback loop. Because it was 98% accurate, each generational cycle, those errors are being compounded. And so the error margin gets larger and larger and larger and larger because the IA is not sentient. It's not capable of truly learning and getting better over time. So if it was like you release a sentient software that can do math that is 90% accurate at first, then next it gets a little bit smarter every generation. Of course, it's going to be probably a certain degree you're going to end up with the diminishing gains, where the amount you get improvement every single generation is less and less. But being software, those generations are minutes or even seconds long. So eventually you get software that is incredibly, unbelievably accurate, even if it is not perfect. But then again, neither are we. Now that's interesting. That would be cool. The current algorithms we're playing with that we are calling AI aren't doing that. They're not learning. They're just collating and combining and harvesting the data out there on the net. data they don't own. I don't know of any artists that have freely said, yeah, go ahead and use my stuff. Yeah, not a problem. No. And they should be stopped. Using someone else's art, someone else's writing, fiction, nonfiction, articles in newspapers or magazine, doesn't matter. Using someone else's work without permission and getting paid for it, that's plagiarism. We deal with plagiarism, all right. We know what plagiarism is. Okay? We don't like it. And people get sued for it, rightfully so. So all of this stuff right now, in my opinion, is completely and absolutely unethical. You cannot run AI at the moment, the software that is being called AI, ethically, unless you get permission for everything you've plugged into your algorithms to teach them what to do. And they're not going to do that because that would be prohibitively expensive. Lots of people would just say no. I know I'm a member of DeviantArt, and the default is your work isn't allowed to be used by AI. Now, admittedly, my art is probably very unlikely to be mined by anyone to be used as, fodder for an AI algorithm, because my art is things like this. I don't imagine that this is going to be something that is going to be all that attractive to a piece of software with its little algorithms looking for something, unless they're looking for maces made out of gears. Maybe that's it. Maybe they'll come steal one of my images if that's what someone has asked for. But I don't think it's that likely. And I don't see how it's viable at this point. I'm not alone in this belief. There are lots of people who think that it's not viable and it's not ethical. And many of them are getting lawyers. And again, rightfully so. Get out there. Sue the living crap out of these software people who did not think this through, who just thought they made this shiny new toy which was going to do incredibly amazing things and is putting people in danger. And when I say danger, I mean danger. There are mushroom identification guides currently being written by algorithms and being sold. Guess what doesn't know what is actually safe and not safe for human consumption? Algorithms. So you are literally putting people at risk. And that's not good. And again, I hope people get sued. I hope no one gets hurt, but I hope people get sued over this because they deserve it. So tell me, what do you think about AI? Do you consider it to be ethical? Do you consider it to be the next wave of the future? Do you consider its output to be creative, or is it just irritative? Is it just derivative of other things? It is not originality. No AI software is going to come up with a new concept for a movie or a TV show or a picture or a song. All it can do is take things it's already learned and reshuffle them and come up with something. Yes, you may never have seen it, but that doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it art, because there was never a creative mind behind it. And even if the art is weird, there was a creative mind behind this. That's not true for AI. And I think that we need to make sure that the people that come up with these pieces of software know that we're not happy about it and that we want them to behave ethically, and if they can't, to go away.